The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
I met a poser at a store the other day. He was wearing a Maryland Death Fest shirt. And I was like, oh, sick. What year did you go? I was like, I've never been. I'm like, take it off.
Fucking poses.
Just like hold him down and take it off him.
Yeah. Beat the piss out of him, steal his shirt.
You have no right to wear this.
Have you even been to Death Fest? Obviously, I'm never going to be able to go because, it's not...
I haven't even worn my shirt yet that I got from the ticket purchase because I don't feel right wearing it until I've attended.
You need to go through the ritual.
I'm going to buy one
attending.
too. I got to get myself one. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, this little preamble is the three gentlemen behind Cave Dweller Music coming from our collective caves into your dank dwellings. It's been a little while since we've done one of these podcasts, but there's been a whole bunch happening on the Cave Dweller Music front. So we thought we'd come together, put our heads together and have a chat about what's going on. We've got the Metal Hank Hill. Brendan, how are you today, my friend?
Excellent, my friends.
Wonderful. And we have the, let's be honest, he's a little bit autistic. All he ever wants to do is talk about Rome and his tropical fish. James, how are you, mate?
The fish are a new personality trait I've adopted, okay?
Yeah, I know. But Rome's been a long-standing thing. I think you and Friendly Geordies have a lot in common.
It's something I try to hold myself back from on these podcasts.
No, that's okay. Anytime I see a good Roman meme, I know to send it to you because I'll end up getting, a good 5-10 minute lecture on how great Julius Caesar was. The ultimate Chad, as you say.
He is. The OG time.
So like we said, we've got a fair bit to cover today. The one thing that we're really thankful for is everyone who got involved with the top 10 of last year. You can go check out our personal top 10s from all the writers on the Cave Dweller Music site. But we threw it over to the people of Cave Dweller Music, everyone who's in the Facebook group. And if you're not in that group, go join it. You can post your own music. You can check out what other people are posting. There's always something new. And if you're already struggling to listen to all the music that's out there, you're going to be inundated with even more. But what we do at the end of each year, we throw it over to the members of the Cave Dweller Music group, and we get you guys to vote for what you want to hear. I've got the list up, but I think this year, in comparison to last year, correct me if I'm wrong, gents, but we had way more people voting on this one here than we did last year.
Sort of. So what happened last year was Facebook screwed us and deleted.
Oh, no, we got zucked.
Yeah, deleted the original poll, which actually had 76 votes, which is more than we had this year. But the ultimate, the list that was there at the end of last year, this year we did better.
Damn. Well, all right. I wasn't aware that we'd been zucked. But in saying that, though, we have had a little bit of issue with the engagement and our reach, which I can't quite work out what the reason behind that is. But hey, the world's best sunscreen enthusiast does what he wants, and then we all just have to follow in his footsteps, I suppose.
Yeah, that's not just us, unfortunately. I mean, that's an across-the-board thing. Everyone's kind of been hit by those stupid algorithm changes that are apparently there to benefit the user somehow. But all they've done is actually strip away the reach of pages and replace it with ads.
Yeah, and I think you were saying as well, and I think it popped up in the group chat, that it's starting to get to the point where we might actually have to pay for exposure, which seems a little bit goofy,
Yeah, it's a pay-to-play thing. I mean, that's what they're shifting towards. If you scroll through your newsfeed these days, it's 1 in every 5 posts is an ad.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a killer. But let's not get too down in the dumps, and let's go through what has popped up in the Cave Dweller Music voted top 10 of the year. We'll go through the honourable mentions first and foremost. So honourable mention number 5 is Cerebral Rot, Excretion of Mortality. I'm having a look at the album cover, and I think you can tell exactly the kind of album it is just from having a look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, that one.
Yeah, I think so. Let's keep it moving. Number 4 on the honorable mentions was Book of Worms, Occult New Age. A lot of these albums I haven't had a chance to check out, but having a look at this one, Brendan, this seems more up your alley with a lot of like stoner doom vibes with it.
The Book of Worms.
Mhm.
Book of Worms, indeed.
Through Desert Records.
Why do I like?
It's the one with the floating skeleton with all the skulls around it and the dragons in the background. I mean, it's pretty metal.
That's so metal.
Honestly, that could be a Dungeon Synth album cover too.
I'm
man.
trying to my Bandcamp here. It sounds familiar, but now I'm also thinking of there's like a Connecticut band, I think.
We really haven't had much luck with technology today, have we?
Not a huge
No.
amount.
I'm really upset about this.
But speaking of Dungeon Synth, I think it's worth mentioning that towards the end of last year, or was it early this year, we actually have a dedicated Dungeon Synth writer that's joined the Cave Dweller music team.
Well, we had 3, and then 2 of them have started. Brian, they're like both great guys. Aaron and Sydney. Matt, hang on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to get you to edit this because I can't remember the third guy's name. Let me just quickly
No, that's no worries.
check.
Let me just...
Sniff this out. Yeah, we had Aaron, Jameson, and Sydney were the 3 Dungeon Synth writers that came on, and 2 of them have been branching out and covering a lot of other stuff. I mean, Aaron's super into his black metal, and Sydney's into death metal, so a lot of good content from those guys.
And we also, speaking of branching out, we kind of broke the Cave Dweller music sort of mold. We had a gentleman who actually reviewed the new record from the Wombats,
Yeah,
which
that's
I wasn't
Ben
expecting.
Ben M. He actually had another review go out today on Frank Turner.
Yeah, I saw the Frank Turner one go up. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, and then we've had someone else that's come on that's been doing folk reviews.
Ooh, all right.
Dark folk and bluegrass.
Nice. So we are really branching out, and we're getting into a few things that, we normally wouldn't have covered otherwise.
I think the people who follow us haven't abandoned us yet, so it's good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder what we do have to cover to get people to actually abandon us and not get involved anymore.
Probably just list like something like Billie Eilish as the number 1 album for the year for the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, that probably would be a good way to alienate a lot of our listeners, but it could be a lot worse than Billie Eilish, that's for sure. You can be listening to fucking Megan Trainor or something.
Yeah.
Getting back to our voted by list, we've got Joint Hunger at number 3. We're Surrounded by Vultures.
Yes, that was a great album.
Talk us through that album a little bit, Brendan. You seem to be really into it.
It was geez.
Let me guess,
Heavy,
by the
melodic.
I was about to say, by the name and by the cover, it's looking like a doom record there.
It was it's a little heavier.
Super fuzzy.
Yeah, they're
all the fuzzy.
That was a bit psychedelic, kind of bluesy.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's a little. They're all like
Norwegian doom.
Yeah.
All right, I'm interested. I don't think I've really heard much Norwegian doom.
Yeah, there's a big Scandinavian doom scene that's been like growing a lot the last few years.
Shit,
Like,
that's really cool.
Occulty, like heavy psyche. I don't know. It's good.
That's all you need.
I
to
mean,
It's yeah. There's like their last.
And then after that one, what was number 2? No, it was Warflurch, wasn't it?
it certainly was. Psychedelic Realms of Hell, and the album cover looks exactly like an acid trip would look like. Or at least, like, maybe not acid, maybe mushrooms. It's a little bit more colorful.
Yeah, I absolutely love that album cover.
And then we move on to number 1, and we actually interviewed this gentleman a little while back sometime last year is Vile Haint with Old Hatchy Haint. Really like that record. And like, I think we said when we covered the album as well, it's not often that you hear sort of like a southern gothic black metal record and the kind of folklore from all the swamp stories that got wrapped up in it. It was really cool.
Well, that's what Moonlight Cypress Archetypes, the label of Ryan Clackner that puts out all the music, is all about. Like everything he does, well, not everything, but a lot of his projects are selling gothic black metal.
And I think you said in the review as well, where a lot of them a lot of black metal does go for that, that classic, really cold, really distant, really aggressive sound. This one, for lack of a better term, it sounds a little bit more warm and there's a little bit more life behind it, which is a really cool take on black metal.
It's like, instead of like vampires, it's more like Swamp Witch.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're expecting, the Swamp Thing from the old, I think Swamp Thing's a DC character. You're expecting Swamp Thing to come up and like everyone who's playing the riffs is covered in like moss and mud and like stuff like that. But we'll get moving on to the top 10. At number 10, we've got Redbeard Wall with 3. I haven't had a chance to check out this record, but would one of you gentlemen have a chance?
Yeah, I mean, he came on our show as well.
Very nice. Big shout out. Go back and listen to that podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, he's the most positive man in metal.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe the music. It's like positive core. It's like it's like
100%.
It's a whole album that's like, it's got a ton of heavy riffs, a lot of like aggression, but all the lyrics are about how you should value yourself and how great you are.
Right, exactly. It's so amazing, and that he's honestly, I highly doubt that he ever misses a message and like gives like a genuine response back to you. Like it'll be a while and I'll be like, "Hey man, how you been?" This and that, and he'll like spend like a few minutes just having a conversation with you, and it's really awesome. Like
he also replies to every comment on social media, like personally,
really?
And
he's an amazing guy, dude. Definitely a hidden treasure. If you need that kind of stuff in your life, you will benefit from it.
I wish him a Merry Christmas, and he sent me like a personalized video thanking me.
That's awesome.
The nicest dude ever.
It really does. Let's have a look at number 9 on the Cave Dweller, voted for by the fans. Is Wolves in the Throne Room with Primordial Arcana.
That was a big one. That was in a lot of people's top 10s.
Yeah, I was going over the top 10 before, and like it's interesting how we've got like hidden gems like Redbeard Wall, and then we've got big ones like Wolves in the Throne Room and another one that we're going to cover later on in the list. Mm-hmm. I really like it how we're sort of like pulling these ones up from the underground, and then there's bands that everyone knows, and they kind of just sit there and shrug their shoulders and go like, well, yeah, fucking duh, of course it's going to make the end of your top 10.
Yeah, that's why these people are so popular.
Exactly. Speaking of popular, this is one that, James, you ranted and raved about, and for good cause as well, is 200 Stab Wounds Slave to the Scalpel.
Yes.
I listened to that a couple of times. It's really good music to work out to.
Yeah.
And holy shit, if you're after an album, with intelligent riffs and like really well thought out parts and sections, don't fucking go to this record, man. Like, you look at the album cover, you see what it's like, you see the name, and you go like, this is just going to be a whole bunch of really fun, really dumb, really knuckle-dragging riffs, and it's exactly what it says on the box. It was so much fun.
Yeah, basically everyone I spoke to about this album said, like, dude, that album is so much fun, is the feedback that everyone gives.
I think, and not that it's a missing thing and a lot of heavy music, but I feel like when you have a heavy album that is really fun, it kind of cuts through a lot of the other ones. Like, I think I said this to you yesterday, James. I was listening to Lich King, and it was the first time that I heard about him. You sent me a couple of songs that had really fun song titles like Black Metal Sucks and Cheesy Metal Intro. And there's just something about heavy music that is really fun.
Yeah, those guys are up there.
And I sometimes feel like fun can be a dirty word in heavy music, but it doesn't have to be. Like you listen to Sodom, you listen to Toxic Holocaust, and like if you're not smiling when you're listening to those bands, I'm pretty sure you're a robot or like you're just a miserable piece of shit.
Or Brendan, like how much you're in love with Eskimo Callboy.
Oh yeah, man, they're great.
Dude,
they're just,
that's
like,
so much fun.
Dumb shit, you know what I mean? Like it's just like you hear the lyrics and you're just like, oh my god, like this is so dumb. And then you just like the music on top of it. It's just like post-hardcore pop.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea how else to describe it, but it's just like all of a sudden you're just like, what is this? And then like just hit you with some like slam. I don't know. It's good, dude. It's fun.
It's like, speaking of slam and fun and stupid, like I think the band that always wins this competition is Party Cannon. You know Party Cannon?
I do.
I don't, but I'm looking at them now.
Look at their album covers and their logos alone. They ruin every metal festival band poster because
Ever.
their logo is like rainbow balloons.
Yeah, I'm looking at what Bay Area Death Fest, and you've got all these all these near illegible band names, and you've just got. It looks like they're from a fucking Nickelodeon cartoon from the early 2000s.
They're just brutal slam death, and all their songs are about partying.
That's so much.
I mean, one of their
fun.
album covers is called "Partied in Half," and it has a dude split in half with pinata stuff coming out of the middle.
All right, we'll add that to the list of albums that I always get recommended every time I come on this podcast. Speaking of recommendations from the podcast, number 7 on the voted for was Feral Lord and Purity of Corruption.
Wait, do we miss Betrayal Guilt?
No, that was number. No,
6?
No, we're going up from the bottom.
We're going
Oh
up.
my gosh, I'm sorry.
We're counting down. This is descending order.
My bad.
I think, and going over this list, I think there was like 3 or 4 Nicholas Turner albums that made it into the top 10.
Man is everywhere.
As CDM loves Nicholas Turner, the group, the community.
Yeah, I mean,
And with good cause.
exactly. Like we were talking about this earlier. Like no matter what like style he's playing, he has like the signature sound. You know, it's like Nick playing on that guitar. You know, and it's just like it's so good. I like it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of people in the group do as well. We briefly mentioned this one here, but at number 6 is Portrayal of Guilt and We Are Always Alone.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it is so good. I got to see them live last year.
It's like black metal mixed with post-hardcore and like screamo.
Droney craziness. It's awesome. They played with Body Void.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, it was so good.
Wait, Matt, you haven't heard that one? That's something you would probably really dig.
No, I haven't heard it, but the way you described it is deaf heaven, but not shit.
Oh, so much better. It's way more aggressive.
They did 2 albums this year. We're Always Alone last year, and Christfucker. And when I saw them play, they did a couple songs off of like basically each of those, and I made a little playlist. I got it on Tidal and Spotify, so I posted it to the group when I saw it. But like, my God, dude, it's awesome. It was an awesome sight to see. I'll tell you.
Where did you see him?
They were playing at like this little friggin' like BFW in friggin' Connecticut.
Nice.
Berlin, Connecticut.
I'm always constantly so jealous being on the other side of the world, and you guys are like, yeah, I'm just going down to this awesome show for $15. And I'm like,
dude, it was sweet. I bought some. I got. Like, and what's funny too is when I was there, I bought the vinyl from Body Void, and they were like, well, we have this version of it that's has the misspelling of pale man, and it's PALLE man, you know, and you're like, sweet. So now I have like this like kind of neat one-off record that's like, I don't know how many people actually have it, but I bought one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got like the wrong spelling, but it's pretty sweet.
I don't know why, but I always feel like misprints are more fun than the actual record themselves. Like, especially if it's like, even if it's something small, like, you know, a misspelling of a name, or they've put the wrong track on the wrong, like they've sequenced the
List,
album wrong.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it always gives me a little kick. You're like, ooh, this is something out of the norm. I like this.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that I liked, and I think this is probably one of the first albums on the top 10 that I actually listened to, Dark Throne, Eternal Hails. We all know Dark Throne. We all love Dark Throne. I don't think there's much that really needs to be said there.
Nope.
Nah,
Everyone
it's
knows and loves
delicious.
them. And we all love Fenris.
Yep.
Oh, dude, that meme of Transylvania Hum you sent me the other day.
That was last night. I was laughing at that for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I just saw it and I couldn't stop laughing. And you know when you're laughing that hard that you end up laughing at how hard you're laughing?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was just that kind of like ridiculous laughter where you're like, it's not funny, but the fact
The reality
that I find
of like what's going on is now just you're like, fuck, this is dumb and I love it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You end up laughing so hard that you're like, what? Why am I laughing so hard? It wasn't actually that funny. We're going to go into a double Nicholas Turner thing here and a double Nothing Is Real. Number 4, Nothing Is Real, Symphony Mysterium. And number 3, Nothing Is Real, Transmissions of the Unearthly. Two
good.
back-to-back Nicholas Turner releases. And like we said, we love him here at Cave Dweller Music. I think that's pretty evident by now.
And that was actually the first album I ever worked with for Cave Dweller Productions too.
Put a pin in that, my friend. We're going to be talking about that later on in the podcast.
Okay.
Number 2, Mastiff, Leave Me the Ashes of the Earth. Oh, this was so good. This was
Dirty as fuck. I love it.
a fantastic record. It was just so aggressive, so relentless. And
You were
like you
like,
said, it was just dirty and fantastic.
This
Yeah,
was on
man.
almost everyone's top 10 lists.
Seriously, why
Understandably
not?
so.
Like, yeah, for real. It was like Mastiff, and then LLN released, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know which one's better at this point. And it's like, fuck, dude. But like, I'm telling you, dude, that Mastiff album is
Top
the
notch.
tits and the ass, if that's okay to say.
Sure. I mean, I unless you don't want it to be said, then I guess we're gonna roll with it.
I don't think we're going to get censored. That's just
It's the T and the A, boys.
And then we come up to number 1, A Causal Intrusion with New Litis. I haven't heard this record, but of course, it's another Nicholas Turner release.
Yeah, that one's top notch. That one, very, very good. I have that on vinyl, actually.
Me too.
How is the vinyl collection coming along, by the way?
To buy more shelves. I filled my shelves.
I know. I'm at the point where it's like, oh shit, dude, like this is. I got to spend some time just listening to them all.
Well, the good thing about like my new job, because I work from home all day, every day, is I can just play vinyls while I work. And I have been.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of pretty lucky, if you want to get your hands on some Cave Dweller Music merch, we've got some pretty exciting news for you. Before we continue on to that, though, big thanks to everyone who did vote in the end of year top 10. You can join that on, I think it's just called Cave Dweller Music Group on Facebook. We've got a ton of members. Like I said, people are posting their own stuff all the time, so you're going to be able to check out more music. We try and do a theme day pretty regularly to keep up. Yeah, it has been a hot minute. We always do a merch day as well, so you can brag to other people about what you've just bought. And like I said, people are promoting their own stuff. There's always people sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always encouraged.
And there is a Discord associated with it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
There is. Brendan's very active in it.
I post what I'm playing in there. I got my little phone set up. Like I'm just like, I'm like post. I got pop, 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 pop. I got I don't have to move my thumb too much. It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
I really need to be better. I was very active when it started, and I've really fallen off there.
Well, I have friends that are they play some Halo on there, and then some Destiny and whatnot, and like a couple different groups, like two groups there that play some games, and they'll chit chat and see what's going on. So I'll pop in and say hi and see who's killing some time and blah 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 blah, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm listening to music and might as well post. So there it is.
Nice.
Share it and see what else is going on. But I think most of the people behind Cave Dweller now have some sort of merch. We did a bit of a test run a little while ago. The hoodies are awesome, shirts are awesome, but we are actually branching out and starting to take pre-orders for the merch. Brendan, this has gone pretty much entirely into your domain, so talk us through what's been happening in terms of
so
merch.
Essentially, basically, we got our test batch from the print shop, Brass City Ink and Embroidery, and we basically got our creation planned out with them, and they basically worked with us on like design, sizing, kind of helped us out with like placement, having, instead of like Cave Dweller on our left arm written this way, we'll have it written that way. So when you cross your arm, you can actually read it still and stuff like that, little tiny details that sometimes you just don't think about, and they covered it. So they've really helped us out too with basically like getting like the best quality stuff that we want. I was able to go down there and be like, all right, hey, I want to know what we're getting, So that's how we chose the hammer, because it was like, you got the Gildan Soft. I'm sure we all have a shirt there. And then there's the Gildan Heavy. And, it's just like, it's good, but it just like, I don't know, just feels a bit too much, right?
Soft. Gotta go soft.
Yeah. But so I was like, I was like, well, there's got to be an in between. Like, what's going on? What do you have? And so there they were. They had the hammers, bright colors too. So like, there is other color options eventually down the road, maybe. But right now, that the Gildan hammers are just I think they're top notch. They're they're not susceptible to shrinkage. So you're gonna like have that same size, like wash after wash, and it's gonna be nice. The print quality is also top notch. It's it looks really well done. There's a lot of detail and things, and it really shines through. And it doesn't get messed up with washes. I feel like I've washed my shirt on purpose, like just to like see how it goes, and
give it a test run to see if it.
Man, test it out, whatever. And like, I think it's still great. It's one of my favorite shirts. I know with for us originally too, when we got the hoodie, we like the design was amazing, and so we were like, but we just wanted it a little bit larger, so we're splurging for like a little bit larger of a screen print that's going to make it just a little like just that much better, so all those little details were like taken care of through kind of our test batch through us personally. So all that being said, we got stamps.com set up. We have basically we just need to get some pre-orders set in, and then we'll make the minimum for the print shop, and then once that's happened, we'll get the order placed. And they quoted not too long ago around 3 weeks from basically start to finish. So that would be we place the order, and they get it done, printed. I pick it up, or they ship it to me, and then from there, I'll ship out the orders.
And so if people did want to grab, a shirt, a hoodie, a long sleeve, where would they go to? I'm pretty sure we'd have it up on the Facebook page. I think it's probably a pinned comment there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pinned. It's also on our Bandcamp. That's where you
it's all everything's through our Bandcamp. That's all the best way to be able to purchase everything. But you can follow the links through our site and our Facebook page.
And like I said, a lot of the people who do work in Cave Dweller have got their test runs of the stuff, and it's summer here in Australia still, and I went out of my way to sweat profusely just so I could wear the hoodie the first day that I got it. Like, definitely worth it. I had to crank the aircon and everything just to not evaporate from the sheer amount of sweat that I've lost. But hey, man, if I'm gonna die, I might as well at least die in a cave dweller hoodie.
Die in style. Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's super soft, and like it's a Gildan heavy, so it's also a familiar sweatshirt. You know, it's double stitched everywhere. It's good.
I wear mine like 3 or 4 times a week, probably just all the time.
I wear mine all the time as well, and then I've lost some weight, so I'm going to size down this next run.
Oh, nicely done.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Speaking of things that are exciting, Cave Dweller Productions is something that's been running alongside Cave Dweller Music for, I think it's about 6 months now, isn't it, James? Like it's been running for a hot minute.
Yeah, I think I made the account online. I started opening up a business 6 or 7 months ago now.
So do you want to talk us through some of the new signings that you've got? You've actually just released one yesterday at the time of recording. But tell us who's been involved in Cave Dweller Productions. What new groups have you included?
Working backwards, the latest...
Yeah, let's work backwards from most recent to the ones we haven't had a chance to cover yet.
Yeah, let's go for yesterday's one. Sacra Runa is a Peruvian black metal band or atmospheric black metal band that did a concept album about colonial oppression of their ancestors in Peru, which is kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure that's seeming to become a more regular thing that black metal bands are covering. I remember one, if not last year, then the year before, there was a Native American one that had a similar...
There were like 3 last year that I covered in that same topic from Native American black metal bands.
Yeah, and it's not something normally you would associate with black metal, but it's really cool to see people using it in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like like decolonizing black metal, which is kind of cool. Yeah, definitely check that one out. The first single's out now. It's on our YouTube channel. Definitely worth a listen. First single is called Flight of a Black Serpent, so you can look that up or find it on our YouTube channel. The other one that's coming out very soon, comes out on Tuesday actually, is The Mountain King with Wallow, which is super cool album, very unique theme. It actually premiered yesterday on Visible Orange, which is pretty sweet.
Nice.
The full album.
I was about to say, I think this is the second or third time you've had stuff pop up on Invisible Orange.
Yeah, second. Their editor, Ted, is a super nice dude. And what was I going to say? Yeah, the album, it's a progressive doom with a bunch of other stuff. There's drone, black metal in there, a bit of everything. But half the tracks are backwards and half are forwards, but they record them in such a way that it doesn't sound backwards. It's pretty crazy. It's
what?
Experiment about time.
All right, so it's kind of like, what am I thinking of? It's kind of like in Twin Peaks when they're in the Red Room, they talk backwards, but then they play it forwards and it sounds...
Yeah,
like
basically that. Yeah, so check that out. That drops Tuesday. It's a bit of a trip.
Nicely
cool
done. I'm keen for it.
And then Burning Sister had released their single not long ago at all, Cloven Tongues. I think that came out. What date was that? Was it the 5th? I think it was like 2 weeks ago. That drops, which is some psychedelic stoner doom stuff from Denver. Very cool. What else?
Of course, it's from Denver.
It's called Mile High Down a Rock is their slogan, which is pretty sweet. We also had Slog, which was Nicholas Turner release I worked on with Morbid Invisible Records, which is some super cool sludgy funeral doom death. And then
good.
Who else was there? Lord Alfred last year, which Super Sargosa, the label that put it out, is the same label that's doing Sacra Runa.
Yeah, I remember that Lord Alfred record. Wasn't it that he pretty much went, "You have the most bizarre music taste that I've ever heard of. I want you to cover this."
He combines like 50s rockabilly with like first wave black metal, basically. So it's like heavier Venom playing like rockabilly stuff from the 50s. It's very unusual. Not everyone got that one. I like that one a lot personally.
I can see how those two would have a definitive crossover. Like when you think of Venom and someone say like Reverend Horton Heat, they do have kind of you can get the aggression of early black metal with sort of that like dark, almost twisted rockabilly. I think that it makes sense. Like I'm just trying to like justify it in my head, and it does make sense.
It's one of those ones that like first you're like, what? But who else do we have? I think we covered everything else last year, but just in case we didn't, Mortality Salience. That was another album I worked on last year from Psionic Madness. Really great, like grinding black and death metal, also with Nicholas Turner and Jared. Yeah, I think I covered everything else last year already, but those are the more recent ones that I put out.
And if people did want to get in touch and join the ever-growing Cave Dweller Productions family, how would they go about doing so?
They can just reach out to me through Cave Dweller Music, or there is a full range of socials for Cave Dweller Productions and a website. But if you're already following Cave Dweller, there's links to Cave Dweller Productions on our website or in our LinkedIn bio. Plenty of ways to find us.
Oh shit, we've got LinkedIn.
Oh, not LinkedIn. I mean, I have LinkedIn. I do have LinkedIn for Cave Dweller Productions, but the link in bio in Instagram.
Oh.
Okay. I was about to say, like, damn, I didn't realize we had a LinkedIn. We're professional idiots over here.
No, Cave Dweller Productions does have one though.
Speaking of productions and things that we've covered last year, we are back at it again, and we've got a charity sampler lined up. Last year's was that successful that we kind of just sat around and went, fuck, what are we going to do with all these submissions? And then we ended up raising quite a fair bit of money as well for mental health. Do you gentlemen want to talk to people through how the charity sampler is going, sort of a bit of a reflection on what happened last year and what we're aiming towards again this year with the sampler?
Yeah, I mean, the sampler, the whole idea behind it is just want to raise some money and some awareness for mental health. I think there's a lot of people in the metal community that are dealing with a lot of mental health issues that don't want to address it or feel like maybe they can't talk to people about it. And there's a stigma there for sure. I mean, some part of the metal community, you definitely have that sort of macho culture where people don't want to come across as weak. And I think a lot of people view mental health and mental illness as a weakness. So if we can shed some light on that and maybe raise some money for charities to help people in those situations, that would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Making people feel good and trying to make the world a better place through our music.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that area.
And how much money did we end up raising last year? I remember it being a surprising amount.
It was like after all the fees and taxes and everything, I think it was like between $500 and $600.
Nicely done. And I remember us sort of sitting there going like, we are going to need to make 2 volumes of this because the amount of people that submitted stuff is just mind-blowing. Yeah,
and it's trending the same way again this year. I mean, we're still open taking submissions till the end of March, and we've already got 35 people that have submitted music. So
nicely done. And if people,
it's awesome to see.
Again, if people did want to submit their music or they wanted to get involved one way or another, just hit us up through the Facebook page. I'm guessing is probably the easiest way.
That or Instagram, but if you don't have to hit us up. There's actually a link pinned to the top of the page on Facebook and in the top of the group where people can just fill out their submissions in the there's a Google sheet. People can actually just add their own stuff there.
Yeah.
Even better. That makes it a hell of a lot easier, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so when are we looking at releasing this one here? I know we spoke off air about locking in an artist, but when is the release date of this sampler, are we thinking?
It's going to be exactly the same as last year, first day of May. We want this to run for the entire month. Every day counts.
Beautiful. So pretty much lining it up is the same thing as last year. If you did want to submit your music and get involved, there is the Google Doc, like James said, on top of the Facebook group and the Facebook page, if that's right.
Yeah, it's also in the LinkedIn. It's in our LinkedIn bio. So if you follow our Linktree from any of our websites or from any of our socials, at the top of the Instagram page, there's a link there. I've actually pinned the submission form to the top of that, along with the merch.
Very nice. So again, if you do want to get involved, or even if you do want to give us some money for merch, hey, we're not going to say no to either of those things. Check out the socials. We've got the link for merch orders. We're taking pre-orders. And Brendan, when are we looking like the merch is going to be ready for shipment? Sort of, do we have a definitive end date for the pre-orders?
Well, once like I said, we meet the kind of minimum for the print shop, we will essentially be updated from there, So it could take a couple weeks to get to the pre-order minimum, and then so we'll campaign, and then when we're ready to do that, all I have to do is get the order placed, and essentially once that's done, if everything's okay, there's no shipping issues, all the shirts that we want to order are in stock and all that good stuff. And they have an idea that we're going to be doing an order. So it should be around 3 weeks to get from start to finish, and then to product process, start to finish, 3 weeks. And then once I have the products in my house, I'll be able to sort them up, get them packaged, and printed off and dropped off in the mail or picked up. So,
are you going to be enlisting some help to get the shirts processed and everything? Are you going to rope in your family and be like, right, gather around, everyone. We are now processing shirts.
No.
No child labor is involved in this clothing.
Nope.
Well, the other thing
I just don't want like peanut butter smears on them and weird dumb shit. It's like, Dad, what's all this? And you're just like, no.
Get your grubby hands away from the hoodie.
Yeah. You don't know what you've done.
The other thing that we spoke about off air, and Brendan, you can speak to this a little bit better, is friend of the show. We've had Afghan Hayes on before, and we feature their music quite regularly. But they've got a benefit show coming up by the time that this podcast goes out, hopefully.
So it's unfortunate, but Randall Colburn, the drummer for Afghan Hayes, had passed away. And there's a benefit show coming out on Friday, March 18th at Cherry Street Station. And there's going to be a few bands there, Solust, Versa, Gorge, Sunseeker, Grim Business, Common Disaster, and it's gonna be a great show. Good people there supporting. Is good band, good people. So gotta get out there and support if you're in the area.
Speaking of in the area, and this is something that I am never going to let you two gentlemen forget about, is you two are heading to Maryland Death Fest.
Yes, we are.
So I can imagine a lot of people listening to this would know the lineup or would at least be familiar with Death Fest. But if people are listening in and they did want to sort of like say g'day, have a chat to you guys, talk us through the plan for Death Fest. Like, when are you going to be there? Who are you guys going to go see? What venues are you going to be at? Give us the whole rundown.
Before we do that, I just have to say thank you to my wife, who actually blindsided me with tickets to Maryland Death Fest, which was probably the biggest birthday surprise I've ever had. She actually tricked me by saying she bought me annual passes to Disneyland for my birthday present. And I was trying to be like really nice. I was like, oh, thanks.
Nice.
That's really
Disneyland.
Cool. And the whole time, Brendan knew about it the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was involved in that too.
Yeah.
She texted me when she told me about the Disney thing, and she goes, you know what? If he was disappointed, he hit it really well.
No, I was being super nice about it. But the whole time I was thinking like, this is a little bit more a present for you than it is for me for my birthday.
Right. She meant it that way too.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Yeah, honestly, shout out to anyone, which apparently a lot of people were involved in this who knew about these tickets and kept it quiet. It's the best kept secret I've had in my life, probably.
It was so hard, bro. Because we talk pretty regularly, and
you were being so weird. You were like not talking to me and stuff. I was like, shit, is Brendan pissed off about something? Something's up.
I'm just trying not to be like, dude, you have no idea what's going on, man.
But yes,
awesome.
Maryland Death Fest, Thursday, March 26th through Thursday, May 26th through Sunday, May 29th. We're going to be there. You get there on the Thursday, don't you?
I get there. Yes, Thursday.
Yeah, I get there on the
morning.
Wednesday. I get there on the Wednesday.
Yeah, you get there. Yep. Yeah. Because, dude, we worked out that Airbnb, dude. That was like, dude, that was some freaking spy work, bro. It was awesome. We're like a 20-minute walk right down to the venue.
If anyone wants to catch up, the best time would be Thursday because we have that whole day free until the evening where we're seeing Mortician.
Yes.
Thursday, anyone wants to catch up outside of the festival, we'll just be chilling in Maryland, eating some crab and hitting some bars.
Get some beer, some Bohemian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Friday, we really start. Friday through to the Sunday. We're there every single day, all day, every day. Yep. We'll be at Edison Lot, I believe, is where we'll be the majority of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, so Edison Lot, you'll find us floating around there for 3 days straight, basically. Anyone wants to catch up, definitely hit us up.
Yeah, we have backstage to that too, I think, right?
We do have backstage for the full 3 days.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. Going to make it my personal goal to be uncomfortable around some of my heroes.
Yep.
That's a good way to do it, though. And I think we mentioned this off air as well, but you guys are looking to create a little bit of content, a little bit of digital stuff for Cave Dweller as well.
Yeah, we're going to be posting some videos throughout the 3 days, but we're also going to be putting together a little something for YouTube. So probably going to do some sort of write-up or review when we get back too, maybe an article about it. So keep your eyes peeled if you're interested in seeing some footage. We're going to have some.
Try and make it happen. Office style, maybe.
I mean, the worst case scenario as well is you hit up some of the bands and be like, hey, we're in the area. Do you guys want to do an interview?
Just get some awkward office style stuff with Tom G. Warrior going on. It's like him looking at us uncomfortably with cameraman zooming in on his face.
James, you realize that there are other sitcoms that aren't The Office, right?
You do realize I actually don't watch it. I watched it, but it's not like something I put on all the time. The amount of memes you send me about it sucking is like disproportionate. If you're trying to hurt me and start shitting on South Park, because that's what I actually want.
No, I think I've adopted The Office is basically like awkward boy Harry Potter for me. Like, they're not inherently bad things, but the way people talk about them like they're the only piece of media to exist, it's kind of like, but are you a little bit mentally deficient? Like, you realize there are other things going on outside your circle, right?
Right. Now you're going to have Harry Potter fans coming after CDM, so I hope you're happy.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Matt.
Now we're going to get killed in the street.
You're going to get killed in the street. People don't know where I am. You've just given out your location, guys.
Drive-by wizarding attack.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just canceled. We're not going to be at the Death Fest.
Some guy's going to just drive past, shoot me in the back, and shout for Slytherin.
Look, if that does happen, then I'll issue an apology. But up until then, I mean, like, everyone's read the Harry Potter books, man. Everyone's seen the fucking movies. It's just kind of like, in saying that, though, people that make their entire personality about Lord of the Rings, you can't be mad at them because at least there's like a long history and a lot of stuff to get through.
Yeah, and there's a whole universe. It's not about a little boy that does magic.
I never saw a Harry Potter movie.
You've never seen Harry Potter?
I've never seen Harry Potter.
So I used to be the same, and I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm not going to watch this. And then my wife's like, you should watch it. I was like, okay. And then I watched it, and it's pretty good. Do I think The Lord of the Rings is 10 times better? Yes.
Like what it is. It was just like never my thing. I was always a Lord of the Rings fan, and like it wasn't like I was against watching it or this and that. It was more just like it kind of just at the time when it all came out, like I wasn't kind of into that. I don't know. I was, but I wasn't. I don't know.
The stakes are a little bit higher in Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like the survival of humanity in the free world versus a little boy at a school where like no adults step in to help him defeat the greatest evil the world's ever known for some reason.
Now, speaking of the greatest evil the world's ever known, are we going to talk about the renewed Lord of the Rings TV series, or should we let that one pass on?
Let's
so we don't
wait
get
to see what happens, because I am trying to stay optimistic, and I will see if my heart gets broken.
I don't want it to be broken, but I hear you.
I don't want to be hurt. I was still sensitive from The Hobbit.
Really? Was The Hobbit that bad?
The CGI it ruined the whole movie. I mean, like like Lord of the Rings, it's like a step down. Like Lord of the Rings, everything looked so real because everything was done with models and like, you know, they had actual actors wearing costumes and stuff, and it was actual fire and stuff. It was real. And then Hobbit, everything was so digitized that it just looks so. Because I mean, comparing Lord of the Rings, which was made way before, it looks way more real than something that was made after with a higher budget, which is kind of crazy.
I don't see the appeal of just CGIing the piss out of everything. Like that was a thing that always did my head in about Attack of the Clones. Like the Phantom Menace, it's kind of goofy, but at least it looks relatively real. But you get into Attack of the Clones and every goddamn background's just a green screen, and like a blatantly obvious green screen as well. And I go,
well, that's why I love like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett so much, because everything is filmed like it's made to look so real. It doesn't feel like it's like a movie at all.
I think that's exactly what I'm going to be doing as soon as I finish up, is going back and just watching more.
Did you watch the making of the series?
No, I haven't.
So they use like this brand new technology that no one's ever really used before, where it takes actual like 360-degree photos of places, and then it builds them in this like projector that accounts for depth around the set. And then they put this like the filming set inside this, so it's actually like it's not a green screen, it's an actual photo or live video feed or whatever from the actual place they're filming at. So it looks completely real, which is why it looks so real.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, like that's one of the bonuses of having Disney do that stuff, is they have the budget to be like, we can spend like this much money on sci-fi futuristic technology.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know about you, but I feel like they've redeemed themselves after the fucking trash fest that was the last three.
The movies were pretty bad. I was pretty ready to give up hope, and then
dude, the first episode of The Mandalorian, I was like, okay, then I can back this.
I think this from now on, Disney shouldn't make anything that Jon Favreau is not involved with.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
In some capacity, he has to be involved with. Otherwise, it's like he's at quality control.
All righty, gents. Well, we've covered pretty much everything. Before we sign off, is there anything we haven't covered that we wanted to have a chat about?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty.
We're pretty good. I mean, unless you want to talk about some Napalm Death.
I mean, why not? What's going on with Napalm Death?
The resentment is always seismic.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I heard that. That's
fucking awesome.
Some industrial stuff right there.
Yeah, man. Some good stuff.
Actually, I have one thing I have to talk about. It's just like it's a single, but I've listened to it like 20 times. And I was trying to show it to Kira last night. She's like, why do you like this so much? I'm like, I don't have to explain it. 1 second, where is it? Date added. Here we go. It's by a group called Laser Punk, and it's a single called Heavy Weapon, and it's like the cheesiest, most bass heavy.
That's like that real synthwave stuff.
Yeah, super heavy industrial synthwave stuff. That song. Everyone should listen to that song. I shared it in the group the other day, but I'm obsessed with it.
I can entirely agree. I think I've said this to you the other day, but I went through a really big synthwave phase the last year or the year before.
So
I can't remember what it really is. And it's just nice, easy music you can listen to and not have to think too much about it. Like it's
same with
fun.
Dungeon Synth. Anything synth-based is like pretty chill.
Oh, before we go, what was the name of that Dino Synth record that you sent me the other day? Because I know Dino Synth sounds like a meme. You're probably sitting there listening at home and thinking, Dino synths, man, are these guys just making up fucking genres? No, it's real. I think there's at least like 6 or 7 records under the Dino synth.
Well, this Diplodocus, what's his name? Was Diplodocus?
Diplodocus.
Yeah, Diplodocus was like the OG.
So well done.
And then you have the new one was by a group called Pauldron, Pauldron, and the album's called Secret of Scales and Talons. And it gets even deeper than Dungeon Synth. It's actually role-playing Dungeon Synth. So do with that information as you will.
Fantastic. And I think that's a good place to leave it. Gents, thank you very much for having a chat to us. If you did want to get involved in the charity sampler or the merch, James has pinned the links to that one there on the Facebook, on the Instagram. Check out the Linktree as well. Again, big thanks to everyone who voted in the end of year list. And if you are at the Maryland Death Fest, go have a chat to these two gentlemen. They're basically giving away their location. So if you're a Harry Potter fanatic, go shoot them in the back or something. And then, of course, I think it'd be an idea to put a link to that benefit show for Afghan Haze. So, Brendan, I will leave that in your very capable hands. But, of course, we'll have a chat soon. And, yeah, keep your eyes out on the page for more updates.
Until next time.
Cheers, brothers.
Goodbye.